Good morning everyone, and welcome back to another weekly recap. I know it's been a while, I was away on vacation, but we are back. If I sound a little bit delirious, it is because I probably am. We are definitely a bit jet lagged, but bonus is I managed to wake up at 3 a.m. well, pretty naturally. Now today's update, we have a lot to cover, including one of the biggest updates to pets in quite a while. Hope you guys enjoy. As always, thanks for watching, and let's get started. Now, by far one of the biggest updates this week are the changes to the pet systems from poll number 76. So what is changing here? Well, a few different things, but first and foremost, any pets that you receive in-game are now going to be automatically insured. So if you're unlucky and lose your pet, at any time you can retrieve it from Probeta for the standard 1 million GP fee. Now this adds a well-needed safety net for your pets, because previously if you got the pet drop and died before you could insure it, you would lose that pet forever, which is kind of heartbreaking considering pets are purely a cosmetic item and can take so long to get. It's really too bad that, all insurance doesn't work this way. Now the new systems in place will pretty much mean your pet is always protected, because not only could you, die with your pet before insuring it, but there's also a few other ways that you could not receive your pet. Such as if you receive a pet but your inventory is 100% full, you already have a pet equipped. Previously that would actually prevent you from getting the pet drop, but that is now confirmed to also be fixed, which means no matter what, if you have received the pet, you can go ahead and reclaim it. Now another really nice part about this update is if you've already lost your pet due to one of these issues, you can actually go ahead and get it back as long as it is marked in your collection log. So unfortunately, if you've lost your pet previous to the addition of the collection log, you are kind of out of luck, but otherwise you can go to Probeta and get it back. Now a bank placeholder will also work as sufficient proof, and if you don't happen to have your pet but you have a bank placeholder, don't delete it, and you can actually go ahead and send that into Jagex to get your pet back if it hasn't been done automatically. Now you're also going to be getting a refund for any extra insurance that you've paid. Now you will get these in the form of reclaim tokens, which you can use at Probeta to get your pet back. So go ahead and check with Probeta and maybe have some pets or at least some tokens. Now another really exciting change today actually comes to the mobile client. We finally have a full release for the new client features for both Android and iOS. Now these were in beta for quite a few months, but they're now finally available. You do need to have an Android of 8.0 or later, which is Oreo, or iOS version 13 or later. But with that, the mobile client now has access to quite a few plugins such as buff bars, fishing spot indicators, a Chambers of Xeric helper, wood cutting or and respawn timers, an increased draw distance, which is really nice, and a host of other plugins. So with the mobile app receiving a huge update, what is coming next as far as client updates? Well, it looks like more work is going to be done on the C++ client. We can expect to get a few major plugins coming to that soon, including a clue scroll helper plugin, which will launch in late July most likely. But the one I'm most excited for is loot improvements. Finally, one of the most requested features is going to be coming to the client. Ground items is now being added, which means on the official Jagex client, you're now able to actually see stuff that drops on the ground, Pretty integral update, but we are finally getting it. They're also going to be adding in a loot tracking plugin, which allows you to track loot in real time, and a value lookup plugin. All of these really nice and should be coming pretty soon. Now, as many of you know, in last week's update, Jagex made a stronger stance on third-party clients. Going forward, the only clients that are permitted to use outside of the official ones, of course, are Runelite, OSBuddy, and HDOS. Which means if you're not using one of those clients, that is a bannable offense and you can get your account temporarily banned or eventually even permanently banned. Now the update on clients actually comes with a new set of guidelines, which has actually removed some of the previous restrictions for clients such as Runelite. And because of that, they were able to add some new features this week. Probably one of the most notable ones is the pickpocket swap. Now previously this would only work on certain NPCs, and if they had a talk option, you were kind of out of luck. But as of this week, the pickpocket option can now be made the left click option on any NPC. Now another very useful update this week is the menu entry swapper plugin can now remove dead NPC menus, which is usually just something you would click on by accident. There's not really any reason why you need to access the menu of a dying person. If you want to go a step further, you can also use the entity hider plugin to simply remove the NPC as soon as it's dead to get rid of absolutely any extra clutter. And of course, as always, Runelite is working tirelessly to make this client as good as possible. Tons of other updates here, and if you want to read them all, there will be a link in my description. Now, for those players out there who are extremely popular, well, here's an update for you. This week, the Friends chat capacity has been increased from 100 to 500. So 5 times more space, and particularly useful for those hosting big events. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is this does not increase the capacity for Chambers of Xeric or Soul Wars, so unfortunately you can't do a mass 500 person raid. I guess the technology wasn't upgraded with this. Still a very helpful change. In addition, this week there is a minor tweak to bird nests. They are now going to last 4 times longer when they're on the floor, which means you'll have a bit more time to pick them up while you're woodcutting. And finally here, the entrance and exit for the Revenant Caves are now even further apart. Now in today's update, we have also received a new event for Pride 2022. The last Pride event was 5 years ago, so it is nice to see them finally doing another one. Now to start the event, you need to talk to Gilbert the Leprechaun, who's once again asking your help to spread colorful joy across the land. Gilbert's located a little southeast of the Barbarian Village, and for completing the event, you're going to get simply a cosmetic rainbow flower crown. But you're also able to claim the rainbow scarf from 2017's event if you don't already have it. Also tomorrow, there will be a Pride march around Gielinor, starting at Gilbert and finishing off at the party room. Now beyond the event, there are going to be a few other diversity and inclusion changes, although they don't really mention what those are yet. Old School Runescape really is Old School Runescape, and we recognize that certain elements of the game are far less acceptable than they were 20 years ago. Moving forward, we'll address a number of issues to make Gielinor a more inclusive and welcoming place to be. Now off the top of my head, I can't think of anything too offensive that happens in the quest dialogue or anything like that, but I guess we'll see what they remove. Anyway guys, that is it for the weekly recap this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it as always. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Now before I go here, I want to give a giant thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Nello, Alejandra, The Hybrid, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed to the Dragon tier. Really, I appreciate it so much. Also a giant thank you to Kaitin987, Mexos, Basetitch, MDM001, and YoYoSub89 for being subscribed to the Runelite tier. Appreciate you guys as well. As always, if anyone's looking for a direct way to support me, YouTube membership is the best way to do so. You'll get immortalized in all of my future videos, you can get a custom role in my Discord server, and you'll even know when all my videos are coming out. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.